Peace everybody, back with another video. This is a breaking news. Biden selects California Senator Kamala Harris as running mate. And this is a big mistake with Joe Biden because he's racist. He does not like black people. He don't like white people. He don't like people of mixed races. This is how Joe Biden is. But yeah, he got to pick Senator Kamala Harris as running mate. But guess what? Kamala Harris is going to get crushed either way. Joe Biden named California Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate on Tuesday, making history by selecting the first black woman to compete on a major party's presidential ticket and acknowledging the vital role black voters will play in his bid to defeat President Donald Trump. Well, guess what? That's not going to happen because you know what? Kamala Harris is a reptilian, literally. And she thinks she's going to crush Trump. I don't think so, because it's going to fail. As long as Donald Trump has Mike Pence, he's going to crush her. And Joe Biden is saying, he named California Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate. Well, excuse me, Kamala Harris being black, no, I don't see that in her. This is why Joe Biden is picking color. He's not seeing character at all. He's not seeing character. He's seeing color of who he could pick. In choosing Harris, Biden embracing a former rival from the Democratic Party who is familiar with the unique rigor of a national campaign. Harris, a 55-year-old first-term senator who is also on the party's most prominent figures and quickly became a top contender for the number 2 spot after her own White House campaign ended. Yeah, so in choosing Harris, Biden is embracing a former rival from the Democratic Party. Well, excuse me, isn't Joe Biden Democrat too, and also a member of the Klansmen as well? Think about it. And now Kamala Harris, who is a reptilian allegedly, is a 55-year-old first-term senator. There is no way she is going to win this election at all. No way at all, because she's going to lose. Harris joins Biden in the 2020 race at a moment of unpredicted national crisis. The coronavirus pandemic has claimed the lives of more than 150,000 people in the U.S., far more than the toll experienced in other countries. Business closures and disruptions resulting from the pandemic have caused an economic collapse. Unrest, meanwhile, has emerged across the country as Americans protest racism and police brutality. Yeah, so Harris joins Biden in the 2020 race. But like I said, she's going to lose. It's all going to fail on her. All right, it's all going to fail on her because there's no way she's going to be able to beat Pence. There is no way that she's going to beat Donald Trump at all. It's just not going to happen because it's all a lie out of Kamala Harris. She's racist as well with Joe Biden. These Democrats don't do nothing for the people. That's why they're from another planet called Nebula. Why do you think for 250 years these Democrats have been destroying our country? Trump's uneven handling of this crisis has given Biden an opening, and he enters the fall campaign in strong position against the president. And adding Harris to the ticket, he can point to her relatively centrist record on issues such as health care and her background in law enforcement in the nation's largest state. How is Trump mishandling the coronavirus, and he's and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. These Democrats are mad because now that Donald Trump took over the coronavirus test thing, briefing thing, and these Democrats are mad now. And now Joe Biden has an opening. He enters the fall campaign in strong position against the president. No, because Joe Biden is going to stay in his basement like he always does. He's never going to come out. And then he added Kamala Harris to the ticket. Excuse me, but she's not the right pick for him because, like I said, Joe Biden goes by color, not by character. Harris' record as California Attorney General and District Attorney in San Francisco was heavily scrutinized during the Democratic primary and turned off some liberals and younger black voters who saw her as out of step on issue of systematic racism in the legal system and police brutality. She tried to strike a balance on these issues, declaring herself a progressive prosecutor who backs law enforcement reforms. No, she doesn't. She wants the police to be defunded and abolished, so you have to call your social worker. That's what these Democrats are about. They're evil. They don't belong on this planet whatsoever. Joe Biden, he's a clone. Excuse me? And you want to put a clone in the White House? I suggest not. Kamala Harris does not care about the American people either. They're all evil. They all need to be booted off this planet, back to their planet Nebula. Biden, who spent 8 years as President Barack Obama's vice president, he has spent months weighing who will fill that same role in his White House. He pledged in March to select a woman as his vice president, easing frustration among Democrats that the presidential race would center on two white men in their 70s. Well, see, here you go. You're playing the race card. Thanks a lot, Associated Press, you evil devil worshippers. Now Associated Press is playing the race card about two white men in their 70s. Alright, but you know what? But Kamala Harris is still not going to get in. I don't care. And now Joe Biden's saying, oh, that the White House is his. No, it's not. It belongs to Donald Trump. Sorry. Biden, who spent 8 years as President Barack Obama's vice president. Yeah, well, 8 years, Joe Biden didn't do nothing for this country. Him and Obama, they both destroyed this company in that matter of time. 8 years. That's what they did. They made sure that the black community went to jail. In other words, pull the fathers out of the home and put them in jail for no reason at all. They made sure of that. Joe Biden is racist. He called a black mayor the N-word. He also admitted to drafting the crime bill in 1993 or 1994, one of them 2 years. And he also said, we're going to put every black American back in chains again. This is who Biden is. And you want to vote for something like this? Then he comes out and says, if you can't figure out whether you're for me or Trump, you ain't black. Excuse me, do you really want something like that in the White House? I know I wouldn't, even though I'm not a registered voter, but still. Then there's another thing saying that he's going to raise your taxes by $3 trillion. Are you going to allow that? I hope not. Remove every Democrat. That means get rid of Kamala Harris too, even though he picked her as a as a running mate, but still, she's got to go too. Biden's search was expansive, including Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, a leading progressive Florida Rep. Val Demings, whose impeachment prosecution on Trump won plaudits, California Rep. Karen Bass, who leads the Congressional Black Caucus, former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice, and Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who passionate response to unrest in her city garnered national attention. Yeah, so Biden's search was expansive. Yeah, okay. He only goes by color. He doesn't go by character. Including Elizabeth Warren. Oh yeah, she thinks she's Pocahontas over there, but she's not. A leading progressive Florida Rep. Val Demings. I don't know who Representative Val Demings is, who impeachment prosecution of Trump won plaudits. Well, guess what? Everything is failing on the Democrats now. They don't have nothing left except lies to tell. That's all they got. The impeachment failed by Nancy Pelosi, and it's going to fail again because they don't have nothing left except lying on Donald Trump every day by using CNN, MSDNC, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, and all these other news outlets for propaganda because that's all they got left now. A woman has never served as president or vice president of the United States. 2 women have been nominated as running mates on major party tickets. Democrat Jerline Farrell in 1984 and Republican Sarah Palin in 2008. Their party lost in the general election. Yes, they have, because there's never been a woman vice president ever, and there never will be. And Kamala Harris is the first one to run for vice president. She's gonna lose no matter what. And of course you got Geraldine Farrell in 1984 and Republican Sarah Palin in 2008. They were running for vice president. They both lost because there will never be a woman vice president. The vice presidential pick carries increased significance this year. If elected, Biden would be 78 when he's inaugurated in January, the oldest man to ever assume the presidency. He's spoken of himself as a transitional figure and hasn't fully committed to seeking a second term in 2024 if he declines to do so. His running mate would likely become a front runner for the nomination that year. Yeah, well, Joe Biden is not exactly all there. His mind is gone. He can't put a complete sentence together. He doesn't know what day it is, probably. He's always in his basement. His wife, Jill, she drags him all over the place for this and to campaigning and stuff like that. And it's elder abuse. But then again, Joe Biden is a clone. The one you're seeing is not a real Joe Biden. It's a clone. Born in Oakland to a Jamaican father and an Indian mother, Harris won her first election in 2003 when she became San Francisco district attorney. In the role, she created a reentry program for low-level drug offenders and cracked down on student truancy. Yeah, well, who cares what she did? Yeah, she was born in Oakland to a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. So what? Harris won her first election in 2003 when she became San Francisco's district attorney. Well, excuse me, but California is also a liberal state as well. It is also a liberal state as well. Nobody People in California are sick of these liberals, these white liberals, Democrats that are controlling everybody. People in California are not allowed to do this. They're not allowed to do that. They can't have this. They can't have this. They got to keep this closed, keep that closed. And these Democrats, that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep everything closed. They're going to make sure your police forces are gone. They're going to make sure all of it's gone because that's what they're up to. And these Democrats don't have a heart whatsoever. She was elected California's Attorney General in 2010, the first woman and black person to hold the job, and focused on issues including the foreclosures crisis. She declined to defend the state's Proposition 8, which banned same-sex marriages, and was later overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. So yes, so she was elected California's Attorney General in 2010. All right. The first woman and black person to hold the job and focus on issue including the foreclosure crisis. In other words, your houses are being foreclosed right now as we speak because of these Democrats. They want to take away everything more. They want to make sure the economy crashes again. They want to make sure your jobs go back over to China where it was the first time. They want to make sure all this is happening. They have nothing, these Democrats. They have nothing to offer except tyranny, control, power, and money. That's all they care about. They don't care about the American people at all because they're not from this planet at all. As her national profile grew, Harris built a reputation around her work as a prosecutor. After being elected to the Senate in 2016, she quickly gained attention for her assertive questioning of Trump administration officials during congressional hearings. In one memorial moment last year, Harris tripped up Attorney General William Barr when she repeatedly pressed him on whether Trump or other White House officials pressured him to investigate certain people. No, General Barr was not pressured into anything. So this is why they're switching the narrative all around. They're switching the narrative. They're saying, oh, well, Barr had pressured him to investigate certain people. No, General Barr did not. He did not pressure that. This is why these Democrats are criminals. For 250 years, they have been destroying this planet. Literally. They've been taking everything away from the American people. Money, jobs. They cause chaos, destruction, explosion, rioting, looting. Anything they got their hands on, that's what they have done. Harris launched her presidential campaign in nearly 2019 when the slogan Kamala Harris for the people, a reference to her courtroom work. She was one of the highest profile contenders in a crowded Democratic primary and attracted 20,000 people to her first campaign rally in Oakland. Yeah, well, 20,000 people, that's all she gets? Oh no, wait, that's a lot more than what Joe Biden gets. Because Joe Biden, he only debates with 5 people in the room. That's all Joe Biden debates for. 5 little people in the room. Harris launched her presidential campaign in early 2019, and yet here she's just now getting to whatever she's doing with the slogan, Kamala Harris for the people. No, it's going to be Kamala Harris for the prison, but it won't be for the people. In reference to her courtroom work, yeah, it must have been a pony show with the courtroom work that she was doing. She was one of the highest profile contenders in a crowded Democratic Party and attracted 20,000 people. Yeah, it must have been those 20,000 losers that are sheeple. in her first campaign rally in Oakland. By the early promise of her campaign eventually faded, her law enforcement background prompted skepticism from some progressives, and she struggled to land on a consistent meeting that resonated with voters. Facing fundraising problems, Harris abruptly withdrew from the race in December 2019, 2 months before the first votes of the primary were cast. Yeah, so now they're saying that, but the early promise of her campaign eventually faded. Of course it faded because nobody wanted to be around her, really. She's doing everything she can to destroy this planet even more. AOC plus 3, the new Green Deal, guess what? Everything is going to end up looking like Venezuela. That's what AOC plus 3 wants to do with the Green Deal. Make it look like Venezuela. There's no water, no food, no money, no nothing, no medicine either. And Harris abruptly withdrew from the race in December 2019, 2 months before the first votes of the primary were cast. Yeah, of course she withdrew. She had no choice but to withdraw. One of Harris's standout moments of her presidential campaign came at the expense of Biden. During a debate, Harris said Biden made very hurtful comments about his past work with Sargentist senators and slammed his opposition to being as schools begin to integrate in the 70s. So Biden hurt their feelings. So what? Who cares? He hurt Kamala's feelings. Oh, I don't feel sorry for him. One of Harris's standout moments of her presidential campaign came at the expense of Biden. Yeah, very expense of Biden with his little 5 people that he debates with. During the debate, Harris said Biden made very hurtful comments about his past work. Well, who cares about his past work? 50 years in the office, he has done nothing for the American people. And that goes the same with Obama, too. Biden-Obama administration never did nothing for this country. They said, oh, well, we're going to make sure this and that. Yeah, look where it. Meanwhile, Obama's buying $64,000 hot dogs, and you know what I'm talking about. That's what he was busy doing. There was a little girl in California who was a part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day, she said, and that little girl was me. Well, she should have stayed a little girl, but we grow up too doggone fast. Alright, so she's saying that there was a little girl in California who was a part of the second class that integrate her public schools. Well, the schools are lying too because the schools are oppressed. The teachers are not telling the true history. The teachers are making you brainwashed. Shaken by the attack, Biden called her comments a mischaracterization of my position. Well, at least he did something right. Called her comments a mischaracterization of my position. Well, at least he did something right, but that's to show you who Biden really is. He owns black slaves. That's what he does. He does not care about the black people of the community. He wants to get rid of them to jail now. Because he admitted to that doggone crime bill that he drafted in 1993 or 1994, one of them 2 years. This is why the fathers are being pulled out of homes, because of Joe Biden. The exchange resurfaced recently. One of the Biden's closest friends and a co-chair of his vice president venting committee, former Connecticut Senator Chris Dodd, still harbors concerns about the debate and that Harris expressed regret. The comments attributed to Dodd and first report by Politico drew commendation, especially from influential Democratic women who said Harris was being held to a standard that wouldn't apply to a man running for president. Now, I don't know who Senator Chris Dodd is. I don't know who he is. So, but he's in Connecticut, I guess. Former Connecticut Senator Chris Dodd. I don't know who he is. But he still harbors concerns about the debate and that Harris hadn't expressed regret. The comments attributed to Dodd and first reported by Politico drew condemnation. Yeah, so these fake news medias, like the Associated Press is another fake news. They switch the narratives to fit their agenda. That's what they're about. Of course, especially from influential Democratic woman who said Harris was being held to a standard that wouldn't apply to a man running for president. Well, do you know what? Joe Biden is not going to win. Simple as that. I already know that Donald Trump is going to win the second election, and that Joe Biden is going to go back into his basement. And Kamala Harris, she's going to have a fit. Oh, why did you let this man win? Who cares, Kamala? You're a reptilian. Some Biden confidence said Harris' campaign attack did irritate the former vice president, who had a friendly relationship with her. Harris was also close with Biden's late son, Beau, who served as Delaware Attorney General while she held the same post in California. All right, so Biden had a friendly relationship with her. You should know what I mean by that. By friendly relationship with Harris. Think about it. In other words, he's sniffing women's hair. Yeah. Joe Biden is a child predator, allegedly. He does not care about anybody except for himself, and he likes to pick on little 13-year-old little girls. Let me put it that way. Joe Biden is not mind-strung to run for president. Joe Biden is weak. And he picked Kamala Harris for his running mate? Nice try. But she's going to lose. But Biden and Harris have since returned to a warm relationship. Yeah, we know what that warm relationship is all about. Joe has empathy. He has a proven track record of leadership, and more than ever before, we need a president of the United States who understands who the people are, sees them where they are, and has a genuine desire to help and knows how to fight to get us where we need to be, Harris said at an event for Biden earlier this summer. So Joe Biden has empathy for Harris? No, he doesn't. Because as long as he's sniffing her hair, yeah. I wouldn't exactly count on Joe Biden being president anytime soon. And Harris as vice president, no. At the same event, she bluntly attacked Trump, labeling him a drug pusher. No, he's not a drug pusher. No, 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 no. Donald Trump is not a drug pusher. No. He is destroying everything that the Democrats have done to this planet. And yet they're going to lie and say he's a drug pusher? No, 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 no. That is not true at all. For his promotion of the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for the coronavirus, which has not been approved to be an effective treatment and may even be more harmful. How is it harmful? And Donald Trump took the drug. All right, he said that it worked. The FDA approved this drug 65 years ago. How is it harmful to people? This hydroxychloroquine. How? It's not harmful. People have been taking it. And Kamala Harris has the nerve to say that Donald Trump is a drug pusher? Wrong. After Trump tweeted, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts," in response to protests about the death of George Floyd, a black man in police custody, Harris said his remarks yet again show what racism looked like. No, that's to show what the Democrats' racism looks like, not Donald Trump. It's to show what the Democrats' racism looked like. That's what it's about. The looting, the rioting, all funded by George Soros and the radical Democrats. That's who's funding all of this. And yes, Donald Trump did say after Trump tweeted, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts," meaning the protesters that are funded by George Soros. And this is the kind of people you want in the White House? No, you're better off re-electing Donald Trump. At least he keeps his promises, getting things done. What does the Democrats do? Nothing, except sit on their butts, complain about everything. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama, aka Michael, saying, "Oh, she's depressed because of the Trump administration." No, that's Donald Trump is proving what her lover, Obama, who's also known as Barry Santoros, is a liar. All these radical left Democrats are the ones that are lying to you, getting you to believe propaganda stuff, this and that and everything. And here you want to put these kind of people in the office? No. Harris has taken a tougher stand on policing since Floyd's killing. She co-sponsored legislation in June that would ban police from using chokeholds and no-knock warrants, set a national use of force standard, and created a national police misconduct registry, among other things. It would also reform the qualified immunity system that shields officers from liability. In other words, she wants the police to back off. She doesn't want the police to help the American people when people call 911. All right, when people need help, they're not going to be allowed to come because Kamala Harris wants to make sure those police back off of them. And I understand Harris has taken a tougher stand on policing since Floyd's killing. Yeah, I highly think so. She co-sponsored legislation in June that would ban police from using chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Well, the chokehold should have been banned years ago. Look what happened with Eric Gardner when he had the chokehold put on him. He was just minding his own business, selling whatever, I think CDs, loose cigarettes, something he was selling. And the officer in New York City put a chokehold on Eric Gardner, and Eric Gardner kept telling the police, "I can't breathe," until Eric Gardner took his last breath and died because of the police chokehold. The list included practices. Harris did not vocally fight to reform while leading California's Department of Justice. Although she required DOJ officers to wear body cameras, she did not support legislation mandating it statewide, and while she now wants independent investigations of police shootings, she didn't support a 2015 California bill that would have required her office to take on such cases. Of course not, because she does not care about the American people. She doesn't know nothing about the police force. All she wants to do is say, hey, look, we're gonna make these cops, we're gonna make these police force back off the American people and just go after the black people. This is what Kamala Harris is up to. But like I said, they don't have a leg to stand on anymore, because all they got are lies after lies after lies. It also says she didn't support a 2015 California bill that would have required her office to take on such cases. Well, of course not, she didn't support it. She don't care about the police. She don't care about nothing. We made progress, but clearly we are not at the place yet as a country where we need to be, and California is no exception. Well, obviously, because California is a racist state. Duh. She told the Associated Press recently, but the national focus on racial injustice now shows there's no reason that we have to continue to wait. Excuse me, but if Kamala Harris thinks she's going to get into office, she better think again. She told the Associated Press recently, but the national focus on racial injustice now shows there's no reason. Well, excuse me, but the radical Democrats are all about racism. They always have been. This country is sovereign nation for the Christians, not for the Democrats. The radical Democrats do not have permission to destroy this country like they did. All right, this country belongs to the patriots. We are the owners of this country, not the radical Democrats. What they did was totally insane and inhumane and caused harm to humanity. That's what these radical Democrats are about. They're all about harm. They're not going to give you security. They say, oh yeah, we're going to give you security. We're going to make sure you're safe. No, they're not. They're giving you a false sense of security. And the mask, yes, it is about control. They want to control you with the mask to keep you quiet, so you don't say nothing against them. Well, guess what? It's not working. People are standing up, taking every last breath they got to have their voices heard, because they have had enough of Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and the rest of the radical Democrats keeping people silent for so long. For 250 years, the people have been silent. Generations after generations, in other words. Now that the American people are starting to wake up and start speaking out against these radical Democrats, people's voices are being heard finally. And the Democrats do not have much time left, because they're losing power every day. They say, oh, well, no, they're not going to do nothing for you. Look where Nancy Pelosi is. 38 years in office, did nothing. Joe Biden, 50 years in office, did nothing. Obama, who knows how many years he's been in office, did nothing. Nancy Pelosi wants to try another fake impeachment in Donald Trump, and that's going to fail again, because it's nothing but witch hunts out of Nancy Pelosi. That's all these radical Democrats are witch hunts, because they can't find nothing on Donald Trump whatsoever. They could try they've been throwing everything at Donald Trump, and yet he's just calmly said, I don't care what they say. They could throw everything at me. He's calm about this. This is the calm before the storm. That's what this is. This is good versus evil now. This is not about Donald Trump versus Biden anymore. This is good versus evil now. To see who's going to gain control of the American country. And it looks like so far America is winning because the radical Democrats don't have nothing left except make false statements on people that are not true. And Donald Trump is one of them. They're making all these false accusations on him. And Kamala Harris has the nerve to call Donald Trump a drug pusher? Really? Kamala Harris needs to sit her butt down and shut the heck up. She doesn't know what Donald Trump is about. She's a reptilian. And if you think these reptilians are not real, guess again, because they are. I have done a couple of videos about them, of showing you who Kamala Harris really is. Scroll down and you'll see it. Leave your comments below. I am out.